Washington clear, Southwest 8504.
Southwest 850.
Or do you have our flight plan up, or do we need to have dispatch refile for it?
Hello and welcome to TellARotor RC. This is episode 6, titled Hobby Room, Workbench, and Tools. This is Robert Monty, and with me I have Michael Shaggy Parker.
What's up?
And Mike Sleepy DePaulo.
Yep, it's late night.
So, let's go with what you did since the last episode was recorded. Who wants to go first? Well, don't everyone jump up and down at the same time.
I flew a jet and a bunch of nitro, that's basically it. The rest of the stuff I can't talk about.
How many gallons of that nitro did you fly, Mike?
2.
Nice. Cool. Shaggy?
You just disappeared again.
Damn.
This Walmart internet is severe tonight.
Well, I'll continue on with myself and maybe he'll pop back in. So it's been about 2 weeks since we last recorded. I know last weekend, or not this last weekend, the weekend before, I went to cabin fever, but before that, we had the storm roll through the Northeast here, lost power for a couple hours, posted some stuff on Facebook. That was some fun conversations. I replaced the thrust bearings of my model under camp light, like I use at the flying fields where we don't have any lights at. And they're right upstairs. My house is powered off the generator I usually take to the field. Worked out pretty well. But took my models down to cabin fever. It was very windy.
Yeah, I heard.
I always enjoy that field. They got a great place. Sadly, the wind was right in our faces.
Weather's been, frankly, just complete crap in the East Coast for the past month. Actually, longer. This last weekend was the first good one we've had in a while.
Yeah. The crazy thing is today is March 12th. We had snow in the forecast, and I did see it snow today.
Yeah.
It wasn't any accumulation, but yeah, Mother Nature's bipolar.
It snowed Saturday morning, too, at Thornburg.
Yeah.
It was accumulating here. Not much, and then once it stopped, it melted.
Nice.
Sad face.
Frankly, I even looked out of the window. I've been back in design mode here, living under a rock.
Yeah, I make a purpose to open the windows.
I was in my basement all day.
But went down to cabin fever, saw the North Carolina guys, or most of them. A few of them couldn't make it out. There were some guys who were definitely flying like it all goes home in a garbage bag. Not too many planes came out. I got a couple flights, did a couple autos. The wind was strong enough the autos weren't... The autos were on the fence of not being fun. I had to push the model out quite a bit because the wind was so strong trying to blow it in over past me.
Those are always a good time.
Yeah. But, it's funny things. Listen, a lot of the...
Fly a kite!
Yeah, I probably should get a kite, but...
Casey got one.
He did at Vegas, of all places, at the
Yep.
Fun Fly. He wanted it at the Fun Fly.
We haven't flown it yet.
Oh, wow.
It's still just sitting in the clubhouse.
So, flew down there, caught dinner with my friends, and headed back north. After cabin fever on Saturday. Sunday, I flew at the home field. Got a few flights in, and then this week, got out on Saturday. Got 3 flights in the day and 3 flights at night. It was funny. We had a wedding at our field on Saturday. And the whole back field was set up with, chairs and all sorts of other things. Not Christmas lights, but just normal white bulbs on string lights set up between poles. And all the chairs are picked up and everything. So I found myself doing auto rotations into the reception area, which is our normal flying field. At one point, I had to dodge a tiki torch and use some positive collective during an auto.
The nice part about that backfield is it still has all our old plane guys still think that it's all torn up from us installing the septic field.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're terrified to go back there. You never have to worry about it.
Yeah, it's
Well, the fun one was they watched me take the little jet back there, and they freaked. I had 3 guys come back there and tell me that I was stupid and I was going to rip the landing gear out of my jet. And my response to that was, yeah, I just walked out 10 feet and I'm landing where there's not giant rocks. It's not difficult.
Yeah. Past that, I did get a flight on a special model that I will not name.
I hate you so much.
I really do miss flying 600 class, 600 or 55 engine on 600 blades. I really do miss it, and looking forward to doing some more.
Dude, everybody's gonna know what you did, and I hate you.
You're gonna have to take your hate and go see a therapist.
Yeah, man.
Never.
This is probably a good time to mention a PSA about check valves being moody and sometimes you get unlucky. I'm still salty about that.
Is that the hour-long? Is that the true cause of our hour-long phone call?
Yeah, it's starting to look like it. I thought I did something stupid, and then I took a check valve apart, and
that's too bad.
It wouldn't open. I was pretty salty about that.
That's too bad. Original check valve or brand new?
Original, but it had been rebuilt before I put the motor away. But it had been sitting for over a year. It was like a long time.
Yeah.
The spring was original, though.
Oh, I'm taking a guess that bad check valve caused the engine not to start properly. Because I had that problem.
Worse. But
what else was I doing? Oh, hey, remember our Saturday evening maintenance, Mike?
yeah, sizing ball links and 20-degree weather.
The fun thing is Matt purposely leaves the links on the Synergy tighter than most every other manufacturer out there so that you can size them to your conditions. For those of us who fly in extremes, so I'll fly a short bit below freezing, and come the summer I'll also fly above 90 degrees. So I'll probably keep an eye on it, but I may end up with 2 sets of ball links, a summer set and a winter set. Keeps the servos a lot happier and also makes all the tuning a lot easier.
Unless you like shakes. You can usually get pretty close. If you hit like a 35 degree to 70 degree Fahrenheit range, you can usually get a happy range.
Yeah, I figure it'll be happy. It just comes down to some of those more extreme, July or August days.
Yeah, like if you try to size for 10-degree wind chill or something insane like that and then go to 100 degrees in the desert, you'll probably get slop. But otherwise, it's usually safe.
Yeah.
You just got to be careful not to get too Hulk Hogan on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it sized the ball links. That helped out quite a bit with the model. What else was there going on?
Besides the wedding.
Besides the wedding, we had our own little miniature NOTAM for pilots on our field. Everyone had to stop flying for a moment except for 2 multi-rotors doing wedding footage.
Which was promptly destroyed the moment I was allowed to fly something. Jet!
Yes!
I don't know how you did it, DePaulo, but you dumb-thumbed a freaking DJI Phantom.
Oh. Yes. Turns out every drone I've ever flown, when you get the thing on the ground, it's either a throttle hold switch or you do the lockout maneuver where you bring the stick center.
Yeah.
I've never touched
I know.
I've never touched a I guess you could say I've never touched a quote-unquote stupid-proof DJI product in my life before. And I was basically handed the thing, and Casey was trying to walk me through it and said, now bring the sticks down. And I'm like, okay. And, well, that backflipped it. And it was fine, but this was immediately after he had just told me, this one's the professional one. I'm like, what's the difference? He's like, well, this one has a bunch of extra stuff, and it costs like $600 more. I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I backflipped it.
Fine.
That was great.
Yeah.
But honestly, the things are designed for horn rim glasses hipsters to be bouncing them off of buildings in New York, so they're pretty tough, looks like.
Yeah, they're meant for professionals, Mike.
Professionals.
Yeah.
Or in our favorite truck, GM commercial, it's commercial grade or it's professional grade. I don't know. Whatever.
Commercial grade.
It can handle a fall from 2 feet.
You know, like a small tangent, I'm still amused at all of the we still make everything out of steel coming from Chevy, which honestly just sounds like them trying to do damage control that they haven't figured out how to do aluminum panels right.
Well, I mean, there was the Chevy Plastilanche.
Oh yeah, Casey got one of those. The new ones are pretty good, seems
If
like.
there's anything you need made out of plastic, Chevy's a good stop.
Don't get me started.
But, a friend of mine's got a 2500, heavy duty diesel, and that truck's nice. I drive it.
Chevy products are hit and miss. It's like some helis. It's like sometimes, even in the same brand, you might run into one heli being bomb-proof, magical, fly it through a bush and it keeps going, and you're like, this is great, I don't even care anymore. And then 2 sizes up or down, you might run into something that's just an absolute turd. Might even be like 1 year apart in design, but someone else did it, or the guy designing it decided to get too crazy, or maybe he just got lucky.
The guy making the blueprints fell asleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes that they just size up the plans, which is perfect for maybe a one size, but terrible for the next size up.
That's an airplane thing. We shouldn't apply that to helis.
It works pretty well for the Toyota Camry and the Toyota Sienna.
Yeah, right. I like replacing my tires every 60K or less.
I'm just talking about the no style front end of that Toyota.
Oh, yeah.
It's a brick.
It is. No, it's a fine driving vehicle and it holds its value well, but...
A nautical experience is what it is. I've never seen another company find such a way to have such a stiff ride and still get all that body roll in there.
Yeah, that was the way my Lexus IS300 was.
Toyota's good at that for some reason. I don't know. Maybe they got better. I hope.
Yeah. Well, hey, Shaggy, what'd you do since the last recording?
Way too damn much. That's for sure.
Well, let's give us the highlights, dude.
Top 3 interesting things.
Highlight reel.
All right. So I did this and that and the other thing, and then I finished into today, and then we're good. All right. Is that good enough for you?
All right.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, sure.
We're not done yet. So about last week, I actually finally got one of those Spectrum 4649T telemetry receivers, and I stuck it on my Goblin 420. Finally. I've been wanting to get those things for a very long time, and I finally got one. Bought it used off of the forums, got it for dirt cheap price, and slapped it on there and had to update the firmware on that. Update the firmware on my DX9, which not really fond of doing. I'm not fond of updating firmwares because old school and stuff like that, and I just don't like doing that.
Computers are evil.
I went ahead and did it. Luckily, everything works. Everything still works. It didn't do... I'm not going to mention it, but it didn't do what a certain thing did and cause a certain thing to fly away. So everything's good.
Well, that's unfortunate.
That was nothing to do with Spectrum.
Yes, yeah. But I'm not mentioning anything but that. But everything worked, so got that on there, and spent most of the day just trying to read about it and learn how to do it and everything. Found out that my Hobblewing 100 amp V3 speed control is not compatible. It's not compatible at all. So with the telemetry, it doesn't send out ESC voltage or RPM or anything like that. So
wait. Did you get the little one, the 60 V4?
No, in my 420 is the V3 100 amp.
Oh yeah, the V4 is the only one with telemetry. And actually, if I remember right, the small V4 doesn't also not do telemetry.
No,
RPM.
60 amp and smaller. 60 amp and smaller. So my Fireball won't be able to do it, which sucks. Only it's like the 80 amp V4s and up. But the Fly Fun, the V5 Fly Funs are compatible. And
hey, fun story about those. I think it was Atomic Skull on Heli Freak that bit the bullet and went and bought a bunch of these things to test. Turns out the Fly Fun ESCs do have an RPM out. It's not documented, but it's there, right? But turns out that these are airplane mode ESCs that actually do start the motor at 0%, unlike airplane mode on the 130 Platinums and all those, where it decides it wants to start at 5% and jerk your rotor around, and everyone just tells you, oh, well, use a different mode that has a delay filter on the input, which is great. It's a real shame too, because I've seen that like the 130, when I've put it into its own governor mode, has a really, really awesome slow start.
But just to get facts straight, this is for the FlyFun V5, not the V4. The FlyFun V5 has telemetry. The FlyFun V4 does not.
Oh, there's V5s now?
The V5s, yes.
FlyFun V5s?
Yeah, the V4s, no. The V5s list. The FlyFun V5s. Not the Platinum, the FlyFun.
And they've got telemetry in them, huh?
Yeah. That's what it's on the list. And I've got one that was originally going to go in the 420, but I put it in my dad's Cherokee. And now I'm going to do a little swapperoo and put the 100 amp V3 in Cherokee.
Tell you what, Shaggy. If we can, I might need to take a peek at that and see if I can get it working with Jetty. Because if that's the case, my Hobby Wing 130 is going to end up on a shelf. Because if I can get the dank slow start and immediate control with an external gov, I'll be happy. Permanently happy. That's all I want.
You want external gov?
Yeah, man.
For what, the X3?
For the E5. The E5's on it. Well, the X3 has the older version, the V3, where it didn't have any goofy... Like, the jerk is there, but it's not very bad, and it doesn't really show up too much on a little heli. But the E5 with the the high power KDE motor that's in there, that 5% starting jerk is quote unquote, it's non-trivial. We'll go with that. It looks like crap. I mean, if it's just me, I walk up and spin the rotor blade and just angrily go about my flight, but if it's like at a fun fly or something and everyone's like, oh look, it's the Hobby Wing Snap. And it's a shame too, because the other stuff about the AC, and they've been saying update for the last... I haven't, and you know what, to be fair, I haven't looked at that thread in 3 months. I kind of stopped. But it's just been kind of like, honestly, vaporware at this point about an update. Actually, you know what? Let me go look right now, just to be fair. I'm going to go look. You guys carry on real quick.
So, yeah, I'm going to be just doing some bunch of swapping with the ESC. But basically, so the V3 is not compatible with it. Supposedly the V5 FlyFun is compatible. So I will give that a shot with the one that my dad's Cherokee and test that out. And I hope so, because that's like a $60 speed control. It's like dirt cheap. And that's the 80 amp versus the V4 80 amp Platinum, which is 100. I've been doing some research on like castles and the FlyFun, the Platinum, but not gonna get to that. So so excluding the telemetry, the RPM telemetry, and all that fun stuff, amperage spikes and all that cool stuff, the milliamp counter and all that stuff. All the fun things. Wasn't able to do that just yet, and I will try the FlyFun V5 and see. But I was able to get receiver voltage, minimum, maximum, peaks, everything. I was able to get to the integration with the brain and able to go through the settings, which is amazing. Crazy thing is, just by plugging all this stuff in, it actually worked first time around. Like, that never happens for me. It always takes... Usually when I plug things in, something ain't working here, so spend another 5 hours trying to figure it out. But no, this worked the first time. So it's like, it's so easy, even I can do this. So that was cool. Still want to do some more work on that. I still got to I mounted the unit on the boom. I just got to take the antennas and kind of dangle them down and kind of tape them to the boom. So that's the biggest thing I did last week. Then it was basically work, and then today. Today, I spent all day down in my hobby room working on probably my dad's current oldest plane. It's a trainer style plane. It's a tri-gear. It's got a top wing, but that plane has been crashed and rebuilt and crashed and rebuilt and demolished and rebuilt so many times I can't remember. I pulled the fuel tank out of it, and this fuel tank says the year on the fuel tank was 1996. So I know the plane was a little bit older than that. So it's older than me. And oh God. I know, but that's what I did, okay? You asked and that's what I did, and it's kind of cool.
No, it's not about what you did, it's about your young.
Oh, screw you.
If you keep going, I might die on the mic of age.
Oh, jeez. Well, anyway, I'll make it short and simple for you.
Well, now you're calling me stupid?
I said short and simple.
Barney style. Gotta break it down.
I think I can do short and complicated.
Yeah. Okay, so...
Just want to interject. I looked at that thread. There's no response from any Hobby Wing people as of February 18th. Sadness! The last thing reported was, yeah, my ESC still does it. And guys, we're talking about the same thing I've done where You put it in heli linear mode, which filters the input a little bit, and you put it on the smallest soft start, 2.5 seconds, and you just try to line up the response of your flybarless gov with the handoff so it doesn't jerk. Which does work, just kind of lame. It just doesn't automatically work with airplane mode and done with it, but... Hobby Wing, external gov, please.
Just switch to some Germans.
Oh, yeah.
Is this because I bought a jet you think I have German money?
Well,
For the record, mine is made out of wood and monocoat. It says something, man. I bought a
A little
Honda
bit of
Civic.
styrofoam.
There's no styrofoam in that jet.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Usually they'll insulate it with styrofoam.
Nah, it's all sheeted. Styrofoam would go kaboom at speed.
No fiberglass?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
Anyway, last 5 seconds. So, long story short, taking that plane, converting it to a tail dragger instead of a tri-gear, and converting it to electric. Got a OS
5 seconds is up.
30, screw you, 38, 25, 750 kV, an OS motor. Got it last year for another plane that's not built yet, so I went ahead and slapped that on there. And it's looking actually pretty cool. It looks so weird compared to what it was before, but it's going to be electric, 2.4, and tri-gear, or tail dragger, which would be a lot of fun, and hopefully that plane will be flying really soon. It is a trainer plane, but this thing is fast. With the OS 46FX engine, this thing would easily cruise over 100 miles per hour. It's a lot of fun. What?
It needs an OS 55 HCR. Turned to stupid.
I could.
Seriously, go ask the Pylon guys about it. They stick heli motors in their planes, and they just crank them to stupid.
That's good, because, I mean, the engine's designed for a high RPM output, so...
They do it.
Why not?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking, hopefully you'll have the plane ready in time for heli spring fling.
I want to see carnage!
What plane?
The plane you're talking about on a heli podcast.
Okay, yeah. Oh, and then I'm gonna put a big old rotor on the top of it, and there'll be Then it'll make sense.
Carnage.
Then you're entering speed contest to do drag racing.
Yes.
You have to hand throw it, though, to compete with the... You have to hand throw that thing, because everyone else is going to be hovering. You got to make it...
Dude, this is a 45 size plane.
Got to make it fair, man. Can't be flying already. That means you've got speed, and the heli guys are hovering.
It's got like a 5-foot wingspan. Actually, it's bigger than that. It's like 5.5.
No balls. Rotor, no balls.
You know,
I probably could. It's pretty light.
I was watching a Smack Talk RC episode from years ago, and I noticed Bert had a banner on the wall in his house. It was for the Pitch Brothers, and it said, a heli without paddles is like a dick without balls.
I am so sad that the Pitch Brothers aren't a thing anymore. If I ever had the chance to go to that fun fly, I would have. The amazing stories.
Oh my gosh.
It was like the European version. It's like the European version of RCHO.
It is, except a little bit crazier.
I mean, what was it? The Crunder Aerospace, the 50-50 that had freaking beer cans for fuel tanks on it. The twin 50 size.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I'll get Robert the link for the podcast. So yeah, like one of the guys there, Crunder was his last name, but he took, it was a Compass. I think it was a Compass Knight. Built it around 2 different manufacturer 50 size engines he had on his workbench. He said something about how it was an alcohol-fueled Midnight or something. And the freaking fuel tanks, it's got a pipe facing both directions, right? Because 2 motors just slapped in there. Made some frames for it. You reused a bunch of parts, and it's freaking beer cans for fuel tanks. And I think he gives it to Klaus, who proceeds to absolutely wail on this thing and eventually murders it, though.
So basically, it's legit. I mean, these things run off of alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight out alcohol.
Yeah. Please give me that video of the 50-50.
Oh yeah, I'll get it to you for sure. It's good.
We need that in the show notes for everyone's to enjoy.
Crunder 50-50. You know, I'm watching that video right now, and there's just something obnoxious about smoke coming out of the front of the helicopter. And the fact that this thing is just like this amazingly ghetto-rigged piece of just beauty. Oh god, it's so magical. Yeah, people need to watch this. I got you the links.
Yeah.
And then he plows it at the end, though. It's so sad.
Well, that's a proper burial for the 50-50
It is.
powered off. Fueled by beer cans.
Yeah, you know what? That is the way to fly that. Fly
Just
it till
trip
it dies.
just trip and fall. Oh damn! I've fallen.
Fly it till it falls apart, and then shotgun a beer right there on the flight line.
Oh.
Punch it open with a pair of ball link pliers. Dude, spring fling, I'll do it. I need your ball link pliers though. Mine got jacked at a fun fly a while ago.
Hey, my ball link pliers work, man.
Mine do too. I got a new pair.
Just a beer can. It's thin aluminum.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It'll break
use
the jaw right off.
I'm gonna use a piece of an old torque tube or blade otherwise.
Okay. Anyone got anything else for what we did? Wonderful.
Yep. Besides Jets and Nitro, nope.
So next up is RC Heli news.
Holy shit, we got a lot.
Yeah, Rotor Live seemed to dump a lot of good stuff on us, and then there was some other good stuff that was made its way to my inbox. So first up, congratulations to Kyle Stacy for winning the Rotor Live 3D contest.
USA, USA, USA!
Yeah.
Someone needs to get drunk, put on an America t-shirt. No, better yet, wife beater, American flag, and just go running across the flight line swinging beer cans.
Yeah.
We got to properly represent our nationality at international events.
And to stop him, will we put up a wall?
Oh.
Oh, God.
Oh, wait a second. We have to fund that.
Damn.
Well, he's in a different country, so
Maybe we'll just do what U.S. Customs and Border Protection do, and we'll just fly a drone and monitor it.
Can't we just use tanks? Up for tanks.
it'd be cheaper just to use a net.
So what else happened there?
So, in second place was Khan Panoy at the same contest, and third was Mirka, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I'm just going to go with Cesena. So, that's cool.
Cessna? Cessna? I think it's Cessna.
Next
Cessna?
up on there...
Cessna? I don't know.
I'm not going to try anymore. I butcher it once and I'm going to leave it be. Next up was some more video came out of the Gropner MZ32, which was announced in February, and so there was video of it there at the event. I saw some. I think they did a meeting about it and did some teaching about how it works. Of course, what everyone is probably talking about still, or arguing about, or banning each other from various Facebook groups is the Mikado V-Control Touch. Shortly before Rotor Live began, and Kyle Dahl, uploaded the video of the new V-Control Touch. So, yeah,
Yay.
Seems like a lot of people are looking forward to it, and there's a lot of good stuff going on in transmitters right now.
A lot of them are going to touchscreen, which is, I guess it's the next big thing now.
I think almost everyone's to touchscreen at this point.
Kind of on the fence.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm not on the fence at all about touchscreens, Mike.
Well, as a Nitro guy who flies a lot of Nitro and gets covered in Nitro goo, I'm kind of like, touchscreens are nice, but you end up, you're touching them a lot.
you put a screen protector on it.
Fingerprints are easy enough to clean off, but like screen protector, yeah, but just getting Nitro goo all over everything.
To be honest, the plastic screens that are usually over the LCDs we had 5 years ago, those were known to not be very resistant against Nitro, so transmitters don't deal well with Nitro anyways.
I did run into that.
Yeah. So it was one of those always pay attention where you set your transmitter down not in the stream of exhaust.
Oh yeah, don't do that.
Or in the path of when your when your nitro filler sprays everywhere.
Jesus, that's always great.
When the hose disconnects and starts spraying all over the place, gets in your mouth and your eyes. Oh god.
Reason number 5, I don't have an electronic nitro pump.
Same here. I'm all about the hand crank,
Before someone's like, it's like I got one for the jet. Because that, when you try hand pumping that thing, good luck. 2-liter gas tank? Pfft, nope.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. 5 kids later, I'm not all about the hand crank. But,
Didn't crank it enough, huh?
Albert likes to crank.
So next up on here is the MRCI. They announced a tuned pipe at Rotor Live, and they got a picture out there. It's named the Trinity, and I have no idea on dates or anything, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. It almost looks like it's not forged.
It looks cast.
It looks cast. Thank you. Yeah, it looks cast, and that black bit on it with their name looks like a
heat shield.
Heat shield, heat deflector.
Looking at it, I'm just happy that finally someone is trying to maybe go commercial with an actual tuned Stinger style pipe. I mean, not completely. Yeah. It's like the hybrid between them. Because Tim tried an actual Stinger pipe once, and the problem was the weight and the fact that making it out of thin metal, if you crash, it's basically hosed. But for the reference in terms of power, that thing snapped the crankshaft in a 91 SRX in half.
The other great thing I saw from pictures at MRCI's booth was they had muffler adapters, what they term collectors, that bit that usually goes between the engine and your Hattori pipe, that is compatible with Hattori pipes. I also see they're selling O-rings for it, so
woo.
Good source on O-rings, and I guess if you need a new collector, looks like they're making some for YS and OS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, I'll be excited to be able to get a hold of those little silicone grommets. Because Rodney, Christine, and I, we spent probably a solid month looking for an OEM on those.
Oh.
From an easily, like semi-available source like McMaster or somebody else like US Plastics, and we couldn't find one.
Wow.
Every other O-ring on the toy pipe we were able to find, but that one, those little grommets, couldn't do it.
It makes you wonder at Ali in Taiwan and Hong Kong that they buy them from.
Yeah. But what backwoods place in Japan is Tetsuo getting his stuff from?
Yeah. Next up, since last time we recorded, also SAB announced the Goblin 570 Sport.
Yep, they sure did.
More sport birds.
Sure did. So more sport birds, and
it looks like they have their own blades for that one too. A different type of sport line blades that's going to be included in the kit. By what it looks like.
Cool. Yeah, I know a lot of people. Myself, I started out on a Line 550 years ago, and I really enjoyed the size. And listening to the various podcasts, whether it was RCHN or Freefall, those guys really they all talked about how they enjoyed their SAB Goblin 570. So this will probably be a great bit in the market. People will really enjoy it and probably come at a good price point. But we'll see. Next item that got announced was the Minicopter Diablo Ultralight, the UL.
Ultralight.
This thing's crazy. Apparently, so I've seen it before. They're talking about running a 6S 700 class helicopter coming in at 3.7 kilograms, which for all of us Americans is 8.16 pounds. 8.16 pounds.
Good grief.
So yeah, the helicopter, it has plenty of modifications on it to get it light, but they still list it as a 12S capable airframe. So you can set it up as a 12S. The kit price that's listed on Peak Aircraft is $1,125.
Not that terrible. Woo!
No, I want to say the Diablo 2018 edition is $1,150, and I didn't check what the black price is at, but. Now, for the airframe, it's right in line with the Minicopter airframe prices. Next on here is Contronic announced the availability of the new Calibri series ESC. So this one was announced a year ago, but they were showing them at Rotor Live, and email hit my inbox, and they're talking about pre-orders. You could pre-order it now from your favorite Contronic retailer. They're talking about availability in April.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm interested in that 90 LV.
Yeah, it's a 2S to 6S voltage ESC, so they refer to it as an LV since it's not running 12S. Three models, the 60, the 90, and the 140.
Those prices are ridiculous. Like, amazing. Like, they're reasonable. Very reasonable.
Yeah, definitely. So the price ranges are $189 for the 60 all the way up to $319 for the 140. And it comes with built-in telemetry for Futaba Futaba, Gropner, Mikado, and Jetty, and I misspelled the word here. It's not multiplex, it's multiplex. Multiplex. For those who are familiar with Contronic, that means this ESC will not require a separate Tell Me module. So that means it's compatible with all those telemetry vendors, and decent price point. Also, it has a built-in BEC that will go up to a maximum of 9 volts.
Wow.
And they say
Nice.
it'll do 10 amps continuous with 30 amp peaks.
That's really good.
And last on here, it is Bluetooth compatible.
What?
Yeah.
For that price range too. Wow.
Well, and I'm not sure if that's built in because they didn't call it that way. So I'll look for some more details.
But
Because
still.
Contronic does have a Bluetooth module that you could use on the Cosmics. Another thing that's not really in the news announcements, but yeah, Contronic has been they did a big point this year, and there's been some price adjustments here in the price adjustments. So, go ahead and take a look at their price list over on the Contronic website. Check out your stuff, see if you like the prices. The other one that was announced last week is Real Flight is coming to Steam.
Finally. That's all I can say right now is finally. Been waiting for that. I mean, of course, I already have it and all, but I've been waiting for them to publish it to Steam. I mean, AccuRC's on there. He's been on there for a while.
No
Now-
more stupid CDs.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they already have the download for on Tower Hobbies. You can get when you purchase it, you can get it through Tower Hobbies. But now they finally have it available on Steam, so you have more of a wide range of where you can get it from. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely.
But as kind of like an elite Real Flight user and been using it and religiously since 6.5, this is a big breakthrough for me. So it's yes, happy. I still buy the physical copies, but still, it's cool.
Yeah, I just want my ISO. I do have Steam on my computer, but I don't enjoy starting it up. It always wants to do updates and show me ads for things and sell me more. I want to use my sim. Next up, a new transmitter from Futaba. The Futaba 12K. It runs TFHSS and SFHSS protocols. The price point is $450. I was looking over the manual today, and for those of us who use the 8FG and the 14SG, the programming's the same. The menus are all pretty much the same. I saw a few little
I was
changes.
just about to ask about that.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just about to ask if it's because it literally looked very similar to the 14SG and stuff. I was going to ask you if it was literally a newer version.
So I'm looking at the pictures of it, and it doesn't. I mean, I'm betting it's sharing some mold with it, but I'm speculating. I noticed the home button, and the home exit and the monitor buttons that are on there. They look to be a different shape than the ones I'm used to from the 14SG or the 1618 SZs. But yeah, that's a Futaba transmitter for $450 with telemetry. So that's pretty nice.
About the same price as the 14SG, if I'm correct.
I haven't looked at new prices on the 14SG. What I did run into this week, I was going through some old notes, and that's actually the price point the 8FG used to be at back in 2011.
Back in the
Wow.
day.
Yeah. Back in them good old
Dinosaurs
days.
were a thing.
Yeah, and like most of Futaba stuff, usually it's for the Futaba 12K, it means it's 12 proportional channels and 2 switched channels. So that means it's really a 14-channel transmitter. And more Futaba news, we'll post up a link in the show notes coming from the Remote Control Technology magazine out of Taiwan, the Futaba CGY 760R. From the pictures, it looks...
Wait, 760?
760R, yep. All-in-one design, no separate sensor.
Oh, cool.
Built-in receiver. Yeah, it has a built-in receiver, and they list it as using fastest and TFHSS protocols as part of that built-in receiver. Yeah, looking forward to this coming out. Looking forward to this one.
I'll be damned, look at that thing. Looks pretty nice. Pretty sexy.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna leave details out. I'll let the website.
Can't read Japanese though.
Just bring it up in Google Chrome and tell it yes to translate, and it'll translate it for you.
It is not doing it for me, but I don't care. It's cool. I'll look at the picture.
Yep. Well, that's really it for news out of Rotor Live. Anyone got any other news that they stumbled across?
Not really. I mean, the pipe was the one I found the other day. That's about it.
Yeah, dude, that thing looks nice. I remember listening to Ed talk about it on Hooligans. He has one. I'm looking forward to seeing one on a fun fly. I guess the only thing I was curious about was weight. The actual physical weight.
Oh, the long header one?
I don't know. The MRCI. No, the one that exists already. Their long header one, if it gives you another horsepower, or something, I guess I'll take the weight penalty for a couple more ounces. As long as it's not another pound.
I'd like to see people start making more pipes for 55 size engines. I mean, it's cool to see some for the 90s and 100s and stuff like that, but I want to see some more 50 size pipes. There's not that many out there you can get.
No, there's not, but I bet that has something to do with, usually the creme de la creme of every heli manufacturer is a 700 size 90.
Well, of course.
So that's the first spot you go after, and then now.
But now we're starting to get some 50s.
We are. I mean, the Align's been there and been for sale. The Synergy N5C has been there, and the 556 is announced. So, yeah, there's more interest in that segment.
Yep, and the new 600XN.
Yep. Well, they're updating the existing design, but for a couple years there was. Am I wrong? Is there anything else than 2 nitros you can buy right now for 50 class? Does TSA or
they had one?
Yeah, speculation. So let's get to the last of this news. Heli Spring Fling in Virginia. Coming up, what is it? May?
Couple months.
I feel like freaking Dan K. Reed right now trying to remember dates. May 2nd. Wednesday, May 2nd through Sunday, May 6th. The clinics we're having will be on Wednesday and Thursday, the 2nd and 3rd. So hit me up if you want to do a clinic. It's $350 per student, and it'll be that Wednesday and Thursday. Also, we enjoy posting in the RC Heli Hangout forum in the podcast corner. Usually put some trivia up there if you're looking to give us feedback or have a conversation or whatever it be. We do enjoy that forum over there. And you can also find our fellow podcasters, Freefall RC, Full Pitch, and RC Heli Hooligans. So, you know what? You could ask us all the same question and watch us all duke it out in the pit with pugil sticks.
Okay, that'll work too. Yeah, okay.
Anyone got anything else before I close this bit of news out?
Like that's it.
My lag is ridiculously insane, and I apologize for talking over you every second. This is ridiculous. So that's about it.
The bigger problem is how much you end up having to edit.
I know it's going to be a pain. The thing is, there's an overcast, so every time there's an overcast, everything slows down, and I didn't think about that until now.
Yeah, you're right.
And it was snowing, accumulated, and then it stopped.
How many miles are we apart?
Maybe 20, 25, 20.
Yeah, it's funny. 20 miles difference go from Verizon Fios to satellite. Okay. Well, this brings us to the main topic tonight. Hobby room, workbench, and tools.
Oh boy. This ought to be good.
Hopefully it's good. Every one of us has to do the maintenance, build our helis, all that thing in a hobby room. Usually we want it to be quiet or out of the way or not disturbed, Nothing fun having all your hobby stuff cleared off the table by someone else and put in a box. So, hobby room, workbench, and tools. With that, go for it, Shaggy.
Well, okay, so this is how sad my dad and I are into this hobby. So it started in a very tiny little room that was maybe 10 by 12 foot, expanded to maybe 16 by 12 foot, and now it's expanding to a secondary 12 by 12 foot shed that's going to be powered, heated, and everything. So it's pretty sad how far this has escalated. But so typically what I have on my table currently, and this has been a while in the making, I've got a 4 by 8 foot table, basically just regular table, plywood on top of that in my basement. Basement's the best place to have it because the temperature is very consistent. Humidity is very, perfect. We also keep it, like in the wintertime we have a wood stove. We also have, water on top of it, so it keeps moisture in the air, but not too much, just the proper humidity. So keeping everything downstairs is actually probably the best place for they store everything, whether it's the electronics, the nitro engines, and everything like that. They seem to be pretty happy, and it's also very consistent. In the wintertime, it stays nice and cool, and the humidity never drops. It never changes, despite changing from winter to summer with the wood stove and with, just the regular cold air from summertime. But I have a 4x8 table that's mainly where I have everything out, and trying to like reorganize everything. So that'd be my main work table. I also have like a small little, probably 2.5 by 4 foot table behind, on the corner of the table, of the wall behind my big table, because my big table is kind of like right in the middle. On the other wall is kind of like where I'll have my storage and everything. I'll have the storage bins with all the random parts here and there. I'll have the tools laid out there. I have a pegboard, which I have all my parts on there. And so I kind of have like one of those drummer seats, the just swivel ones, and kind of just like I can spin around from between both tables, easy access. And I'll have, all my adhesives and a Loctite in one corner, and then my solder iron in the other corner, just available at all times. And another thing that I've actually done, I've got the fluorescent tube lights ahead of me, which is probably the best working light you can ever deal with, because you have nice, constant, cool white light over your work area. But I also have, to help reflect the light and be able to see a little bit better, I've also taken the like Dollar Tree foam board that you can get, and I've placed it over the plywood on the table. And that right there, it reflects the light more. I'm able to have a better working environment. Now, the foam board I have isn't like a paperback. It's more of a waxed cover back, or some kind of like a plastic coating or something like that. So it's actually heat resistant. The one I use, it's like, yeah, that's right. It's the Elmer's one you can get from Walmart. It's not the Dollar Tree foam board. It's like the Elmer's type from Walmart. And it's kind of heat resistant. And of course, like if you take like your heat gun, like turn it max temperature and just heat it there for a while, it's going to of course burn it. But take your iron and you like drop it on there for a few seconds, it's not going to burn that material. So I really, really like that. And also it reflects the light back into the object that I'm working on. So it's just a lot easier to be able to see and work on everything. And that's kind of like the basic layout of my table and stuff like that. Very simple, but very effective.
I know, my own workspace, I started out in my office years ago, and I remember building an X50 in my office. It was awful. I may do, and I'm sure every one of us has done this as we've come up through the hobby. It worked fine for RC cars, but when I got into helis and just their pure size, it stopped working.
Oh, dude, you could build a car anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't spread out quite like a heli does.
Exactly. I've done the cars and the trucks on freaking kitchen table. Mom wasn't happy about it, but I did it. But a helicopter, yeah, not gonna happen.
Wives, mothers, all of us aren't happy about kitchen table. But yeah, I started out in my office, and these days I'm actually downstairs in the family room of this house. But the family room has become the family room / the bedroom. And which is insane. My wife is a very kind person to let me have this hobby take over so much space. But yeah, the big thing as far as space I run into is it works out really well if you can walk all around the heli. So if you're on some sort of island or table. The other thing, we've experienced our clubhouse. The floor is soft in the middle, but we're like where the desk is at that. Our president sits at during the meetings. that desk is actually really heavy, and crazy enough, I think, Mike, you've seen it, that desk is actually really, really, really close to level. Yeah, it's a decent desk. It's close to level, so it's decent to stick a helicopter on when you're playing around with like the Soco tool or an RC logger tool. That standing on the desk, even though it's a wood floor, doesn't shift it around. I've seen some wood floors where you walk around the table and it'll actually shift the. You'll see the changes in the readout on the RC logger or the Soco tool. So
I experienced that as
having
well.
a good hard floor to set a table on and walk around with works really well. Yeah, the other thing is, like, if you're doing this out of a flying field and you're at a picnic table, I usually warn everyone who's at the table that they're now part of the measurement of my helicopter and they have to stay there until I'm done. It's just a funny way of saying, hey, you need to get up and get away from the table. But yeah, especially like DePaulo and I, we visited our friend Bob Harris, and he's out in a workshop, and was probably like a 10 by 10 tabletop that he's doing his work on. He'll pin plans down, or he'll work at 4 different corners and work at 4 different assemblies of a helicopter or a plane and bring it together towards the center or wherever he's working at. So a big space to walk all the way around. You see it over and over again. That's what a lot of folks end up with. I don't know how Mike does it. His room doesn't work well, and he keeps posting pictures of his aircraft in his bed.
Wow.
I thought he was just sleeping with them at night.
Nah, if we're talking my room, things in the bed, we get to about 3 in the morning, and then they get thrown on the floor, like, prototype gets to roll some stairs, oh, that thing's gone now. But layout-wise, I've got the big 4-foot tall stainless steel confectioner's table that I jacked from Mom when she went and bought a whole bunch of this from a bakery closing. That thing's pretty awesome. Solid, heavy, stable, great for banging on things or delicate work at the same time. The 3D printer lives on that thing along with the laser cutter. Otherwise, there's the flip-out tables that we always bring to Funfly, so I'll have one of those handy if I need it. I'll fling that out and set it up in the room, so I've got 2 big tables to work on, because the 3D printer, the TAS 6, takes up a ton of room. There's also a TIG welder kicking around underneath the table that I know a couple people know that I've got that thing. There's a couple Hattori pipes I've repaired kicking around. It's also really useful when, for example, a kit includes some less than ideal stainless steel screws and one of the little heads pops off with incredibly less force that you ever plan to use. It's really nice to, with a 40,000 tungsten, get down inside the hole and TIG weld the bolt out. That's really nice to have. Because to be honest, easy outs, as great as they can be, sometimes they really fall short, especially if the shank of the bolt is all that's left. That's pretty much it, though, for the most part with my room. I got a couple things extra floating around, like the box of parts and the tool bag, but short of that, that's pretty much all I've got until I move to a new place after taking the job with the Navy.
What's your lighting that you use for your workspace? Is it just like a regular light bulb, or is it like fluorescent tubes and stuff like that for clean lighting?
CFDs.
Okay.
Compact fluorescence.
Nice. Much better light.
Yeah, I know for my space, I have a light on my table and lights in the room, but I could probably could do with more light in my workspace. I'm thinking about it, but that's not been such a big problem, so I'm still. The thought percolates, and one day I'll see a solution, and I will wait no time whatsoever to buy the lights and probably spend more than I should.
Honestly, I don't know how you're able to work on that table with that little light. I would not be able to do it.
It's because I'm a nerd and I work in the dark.
Yeah, I mostly do too, but when it comes to working on, stuff in this hobby, I gotta have it freaking brighter than Alcatraz.
Yeah, you're only used to that because your dad's old.
I blame airplane people.
Yeah, maybe. Whatever. I started doing the planes. I still do. So I'm not, you make all the fun you want about planes and all that stuff.
I mean, I
do
fly
it.
planes.
Yep.
I fly a jet to clear the plane guys off the flight line so I can fly my heli.
Yep.
Good stuff.
I still want to get a jet,
Works.
but I don't have that money. Fun. Well, I could get the money, but that means postponing my payment to my truck. That truck needs to be paid off
You
first.
don't want that truck anyway.
I need to pay it off. So, because somebody's going to have to replace the transmission. Yep. Or not really replace the transmission, but replace seals in the transmission, which requires dropping the transmission, taking it all apart, replacing the seals, and putting it back together, and then putting it back in. Fun. And expensive. So yeah, no spending money on jets for me. Not yet.
Yeah. Next we're gonna got through Hobby Room, got through Workbench. Next we're gonna get into tools, and I'm not gonna talk about hex drivers. We're gonna talk about building stuff.
Tools in a toolbox.
Oh Jesus!
Hey, that was funny.
It was then.
That was funny.
So we're gonna get into some tools that we're gonna stay in the common tools, maybe not quite DePaulo level of tools that to keep around for this stuff. First up, we mentioned a couple shows ago, an arbor press.
That's a must.
Yep. At some point, if you're in this hobby long enough, you're gonna need to push a shaft through a bearing or a collar or push a motor shaft out of the bell.
Anything. Or you just want to crush something.
They're cheap enough anyway.
Yes, but don't let it be your hands or let your kids play with it.
That's actually a good segue into you're dealing with tools now that can exert a lot of force.
Yes.
You really need to be careful about what you're trying to press and how you're pressing it, because otherwise you could very quickly destroy something expensive.
Oh, yeah.
Something to be mindful of.
Yeah, I will add to that, Mike. Many times I'm using the arbor press. If I feel like I'm going too hard, I'll stop and check it out, reposition, and go for it. And it's usually, it goes back to measure twice, cut once. If it's not moving like you expect it to, make sure you're doing all right.
Oh, yeah. I've destroyed many things with putting too much pressure. Not fun. Mostly bearings.
Yeah.
Bearings you got to be careful with.
Yeah, I'll probably get into deeper in other episodes, but you got to remember when it comes to bearings, don't press on the inner diameter of the bearing.
Yeah.
Please, no.
You need to be pressing on the OD because the ID doesn't take press well.
Depends what you're putting it on. But yeah, whatever interface you're trying to press on that side of the bearing. Don't be the guy who's pounding the outside race and you're trying to put something on a shaft.
Oh yeah, no. In that point, I agree with you, Mike. If you're putting a bearing on a shaft, you're going to be You're going to be working with the ID. If you're working with a bearing into a journal, like a bearing block, then you're going to be pushing on the OD.
Basically, press on the side you're pushing.
Yeah. A lot of times, I actually use the bearing I just pulled out as the item to put between the press and the bearing to press it in.
Old sockets work really well.
Yeah,
If you
that
don't
too.
have an actual bearing tool.
I also have those like press shafts. They're what are they used for? I can't remember what they're used for, but they're these metal shafts that are like normal size and they kind of thin down to some of them or to a point. Some of them are just broad metal.
It's a drift punch.
Yes. I've got a whole bunch of those, and I've even used like socket head screws. Like I've had some a bag of socket head screws, and one of them in there wasn't even threaded. It missed the threader. So I've been using that a lot. I'll use that. I've used motor shafts, bad motor shafts, bad feathering shafts, anything that's pretty much strong and long and metal, just to get a variety of different sizes.
Yeah. All I say about the drift punches is careful how you use them.
Oh, yeah, of course.
They're not always made for those kind of things, so...
Hey, they work. They've been working.
Yeah. No, sockets are a good idea, a good thing. Just make sure the socket isn't pressing on the seal, as that's completely useless and will aid in ruining the bearing before you get to use it. So arbor press, it's a good tool to have around. Careful how to use it so you don't ruin your stuff. And if you're quite unsure, buy extra of it, ruin it, and learn. Buy more bearings and learn how to ruin them, and then you can learn how to not ruin them. We mentioned in the last episode, metric tap and die kit. So most of the hardware in our aircraft is metric. Unless
you're a plane guy, then it's all standard.
Yeah.
I've learned that. I prefer metric, though.
This isn't teleprop RC, dude.
I don't care. And if anybody has a problem with it, they can write me some hate mail.
Yep, TellARotor RC. No, it's TellARotor@gmail.com.
I thought it was Robert Monty@gmail.com.
Nope, that don't work. So,
Darn.
metric tap and die kit. The die is really useful for chasing the threads on your screws to remove Loctite from them. Also, it'll become clear if a bolt is bent enough when you start sending it through a die that it's too bent for use.
Wobble wobble.
The tap, I will say, be careful with them. You can use them, of course, but our kits have a lot of aluminum, and you run the risk of stripping them out if you chase threads in aluminum with a steel tap.
Oh yeah, but you can also risk, depending on what you're threading, of course. Be careful when you're using the tap because you can actually strip the tap. So it's always recommended to go in real slowly and back out every half turn or so and get the shavings out, and then go back in some more. And don't use a drill like I did the very first time, because that won't work. You'll destroy everything.
Yeah, that's the reason why they make high-speed bits. Next on here is an item that many of you guys probably haven't heard of. And that is an arrow rod straightener. Some of you have seen it. I actually carry it in my kit of tools. If you are a guy who runs torque tubes and you have a bouncy auto and you realize that something's not quite right,
this is a must.
it's usually as long as you don't see kinks in your torque tube, you can use an arrow rod straightener to fix it up. The interesting thing, one day I was thinking about it, and I realized that folks who play with bow and arrow stuff a lot, they used to do a lot of aluminum arrow shafts. These days there's a lot more carbon fiber, but yeah, there's still some arrow rod straightener out there, tools out there for guys who are still running aluminum, and it works really well to get a torque tube just a little straighter if you bounce it around a little bit.
They are a little hard to find, though. I found mine on eBay, but even then, it wasn't that many on there.
Yeah, I found mine on an online sports store who had, tools and other stuff for bow and arrow enthusiasts. So, check your local sports store.
Well, also, if you need help looking for figuring out exactly what they look like, you can Google them, or we'll also put a picture on the Facebook page to kind of show you guys what they look like.
Yep, mine is adjustable.
Yep, mine is too.
And I'll say you have to be really careful. Yeah, you have to be really careful in using it because it's really easy to use an arrow rod straightener to really make what was a slightly tweaked torque tube to a completely messed up torque tube that has no kinks in it but has got a spiral bend in it.
Right. Yeah, make sure actually take a destroyed torque tube, that one that you're going to throw away, and practice with it before you actually do it on the real thing. Like, take a bad torque tube and just practice it. Or even I've even straightened out skid tubes. It also works with that. Most skid tubes are actually the exact same diameter as it doesn't matter if it's not, but I mean, it's mostly the same size as a torque tube. I've even taken bad torque tubes and made skid tubes with the bad torque tube with that tool. It's really cool.
Yeah. So the next one on here I'm gonna go with is the ultrasonic parts cleaner. I think I don't think I'm the only one with it. I think you have one, don't you, DePaulo? Sweet, we've lost Apollo. But yeah, the ultrasonic parts cleaner. Last time I remember, you don't have one yet, do you, Shaggy?
I do not. I'd like to get one, but I do not have one at the moment.
Yeah, they are a little spendy. You'll find them on Amazon. I've got one that it's big enough that I could fit a main shaft in it, but I don't usually put the main shaft in that way. It's heated, so I could put hot water in it. Ultrasonic parts cleaner, you would be surprised how much, just oil, grit, and other things are on our kits. So when I'm building a kit, I will shift all the hardware through the ultrasonic parts cleaner. For the aluminum and the plastic, I usually put it through hot water and Dawn dish soap to get the oil off of it. And then I have a mason jar with acetone in it for the steel screws, the steel parts. And I put it in there. That way I don't actually contaminate the ultrasonic cleaner's bed with crazy harsh cleaners. It's in a glass. It works really well. There's a ton of stuff that comes out of the bolts. It gets the stuff nice and primed and ready, and add to that with the heated bed, I pull a lot of the parts out because they're uncomfortable to touch and hold. The ultrasonic cleaner keeps it up near like 135, 140 degrees. So when I pull them out of the basket and set them down on the table, they usually dry out pretty fast too because they're heat. Yeah, it gets the stuff nice and clean for building. Like I was kind of mentioning, keep the harsh chemicals in something besides the actual bed of the ultrasonic cleaner. I've had a lot better. My screws have stopped rusting after I've shifted them through with acetone, cleaned them all up, and assembled them with Loctite. The screws are lasting. They're looking a lot better and lasting longer. Next up is a torque wrench. If you really, really want to get your OCD bit on, you can get a torque wrench. Torque wrenches. So most our helicopters are built. We're not in the foot-pounds for most everything. Most foot-pound torque wrenches are entirely too big for our model helicopters. We are in the inch-pounds. Most of our stuff is in the range of 5 to 50 inch-pounds for most of the hardware we use. I say that in case you decide you want to get a torque wrench and you don't make a mistake of buying one that's too high of values or too low of values. They're nice for repeatability, or for those assemblies that need a really light touch. It's nice to use a tool that's repeatable and make sure you get that light touch and you're not just guessing. The MIP 1.5 millimeter driver, the handle on that thing it might as well be a T handle. It'll let you over torque all sorts of fasteners. So it's nice to be able to use something that stops you from going all He-Man on some fasteners, and just getting that repeatability in there. Any other things on like a torque wrench, Mike?
Not particularly.
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head. I think it's something I'll put on the show notes.
Yeah, I know it was something I got into around Christmas time. I've been meaning to get more into it, and so I'm still really working the research part of it of just how to use it. I will say that when it comes to this hobby, it's interesting. There's a ton of variables in how much something is torqued. So trying to say everything's 10 inch-pounds of force it doesn't work like that. So if you do decide to use one, there's test other things that aren't important before you go testing your actual helicopter. Next up on tools, if you really want to get into something, is V-blocks and a dial indicator.
I haven't messed with that yet.
I was just actually looking around at some more websites for it. V-blocks are a precision machined component. They have a V in them and usually have a flat side to it. You want to use this on like a machinist table. Basically, a V-block, you get 2 V-blocks and a dial indicator, and you can use it to check the runout on shafts. So you can tell whether or not that questionable main shaft or tail shaft or feathering spindle truly is questionable. As I've found that glass just isn't that great of a thing to roll things across. Between dirt on them.
It works to an extent.
It works to an extent, but depending upon your operational RPMs in your aircraft,
right.
You may end up in an area where smaller things are bothering you more than if you just ran your head speed really high.
Oh yeah, how I work with it, with anything smaller than a fireball, it's good enough. Because with the small ones, you're just going to crash again in a few minutes anyways, or a few flights anyways.
But it's funny. Every once in a while, you'll spot some pictures from some of your favorite pros in their work areas. You'll notice there's a machinist. There's a piece of machinist stone in the background, and they've got V blocks. If you question a shaft or you want to see how good those components are, that's the tool to get. And it will take you'll be able to use it and take all the doubt out about whether or not something's truly true. Drill press. Drill press is useful.
It's useful for a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, I run into it every once in a while. I'll hear guys who do a little bit of machining work on their helis. They're doing some custom stuff, and a lot of times I run into the fact that they use a drill press to do it.
Yep.
and it works out. You know, it works out really well as a tool. You can get some smaller ones, you get big ones, but a drill press is a useful tool if you find yourself getting into the machining side of this hobby and you want to customize some parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw what I showed you pictures of what I was working on.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. What do you got in the drill press?
A lot of things you can do with different size drill press, but you can also even check the true kV output of your motor with a drill press. That's one way you can use the drill press. You can use it as a somewhat makeshift arbor press, though it's recommended to get the arbor press instead. Different sizes. When it comes to the size of a drill press, you don't need to go get the best one and the biggest that there is. But
I mean, we're doing hobby stuff. Like a little thing would be fine for what we're doing. Unless you want to start drilling like bigger than M3, something small is more than enough.
Well, not only the size hole, but also the height. You know, the height of the object you're working on.
We're not dealing with anything big.
So, I mean, a typical medium-sized drill press at Harbor Freight that costs like $100 is perfect. But also, I think it's Microlux. They have this ultra micro type drill press that's like a desktop size. It's got maybe a work height of 8 or 9 inches. You know, and it's also adjustable too. But you know, the max height is like 8 or 9 inches tall. That thing is amazing. I love it. You can go from ultra small bits for probably like M1 to I think M4 is the biggest you can go with it. Which is basically all the ranges on all the way up to a 700 size helicopter from a 180 to a 700, just in that size range. It works really, really well. And I'll have to post some pictures of it, but there's also this tray on there where you can clamp down the object you have, and there's handles where you can crank up, and you can adjust it like side to side and forward and backwards. So I guess that's X and Y or X and Z. Yeah, I don't know. But in that platform, in that layout there, and you can just drill the holes in there, so you can get everything literally dialed in. I actually made something for those shall not be named, and no, not quads, something else that Rob's yelling at me about. But I was working on something, and I was using that tool to make a firewall and all that stuff like that, and I was able to get the holes exactly precise and measured out with this mount though on top of the drill press. I'll try to see if I can put a link and post pictures on there. It's a really nice drill press for a drill press. It's small, it's easily storageable. You can put it in a dresser drawer or whatever. It's small, it's lightweight, and it's just amazing. It doesn't take up much space, and it's just amazing. So that's all I got to say about drill presses.
You got anything on drill presses, DePaulo?
I mean, you asked me that question. I'm going to ask you what level you're going after.
I see a few guys make use of drill presses just to customize some heli parts. Or as I run into, I get tired of chasing my boom around with an actual drill as it shoots out from underneath me or in front of me.
Yeah, if you're just trying to make some simple little holes, the things from Harbor Freight are actually half decent for the money.
Yeah.
The moment you start trying to do precision drilling and using it as a mill and other stuff, get out the pocketbook and don't go to Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Harbor Freight one still works pretty well, but it depends on what you're really using it for.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what Mike's saying. Precision, it depends on your level of precision. And that's the big reason why a drill press is not a good item to use to check like shaft straightness of main shafts or feathering spindles. Because the drill has its own amount of play as well. That's not really what they're designed for, and the reason why the next item is listed, and that is a lathe. So they make small lathes, and lathes, one of the things a lathe is good for is checking the straightness of shafts.
Yes.
Things like even down to torque tubes. You can use it to check the straightness of a torque tube if you're really crazy enough.
Which people are.
Yeah. It's another use for it. I don't know if I'd actually buy one for that. Maybe if I fall into some money one day, I would. Just really checking straightness. Another tool, now, DePaulo, you back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Soldering iron. You're the EE. Tell us what we should get on our workbench for a soldering iron.
Oh, God. Let's see. Well, we've got the Hako FM203, the dual port. That thing's fun. All the different I'm not even gonna bother going through all the different attachments for it, other than there's a whole bunch of different tips and tip sizes for stuff from heat sinks all the way down to what's the smallest pitch I've dealt with? I'll just go with small. Very fine pitched chips on the pins.
What kind of temperature range should we be looking at?
Or well, when I ask you that, I'm gonna ask you what kind of solder you're using. But if we're
For most of us who do this hobby, yeah.
I'm gonna assume the average Joe's running around with maybe like 60-40 or like 65-35 or something like that lead tin solder. So in that case,
Put the average Joe speed guys who are dealing with silver solder.
ooh, silver solder.
Yep.
So if we're dealing with ROHS, the silver solder stuff, you're going to be dealing with a higher temperature because the melting points, they are higher. So what that means for you, the end user, is you're going to be looking to run your average iron up towards 750 to 800. Now, these are high if we're talking chip soldering, but you'll be soldering quickly if you sit on them, if you have a long dwell time, if you had a really low temperature, and that could just as easily mess the chip up. So ideally, if you're soldering, we're talking speed guys, they're soldering big bullets, maybe they're soldering something to an ESC heatsink, you're going to want to run the iron hot in order to be able to get in and out quickly, because otherwise you can start to ruin things.
Now, what is that temperature in Celsius? Because I know some soldering, like digital output reading, is like mine. Has a digital output display, but it's only in Celsius.
The answer to your question, Shaggy, is 750 degrees Fahrenheit is 400 degrees Celsius. It's actually 398.9 degrees Celsius.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, as far as soldering irons, I'm a big fan of get a soldering iron that goes over 750 degrees, and use as big as tip as you can for the project. So, I'm dealing with 6mm bullets for batteries. I want a big soldering tip, not some little.
Oh, well, you've seen Monty when we go to a fun fly and someone's like, I can't get these monster 8-gauge tips to solder. And I'm like, hold on. We need the WMD. The 180 watt pencil for the FM series. Yeah. The tip on that thing's enormous, but it's meant for soldering big ass heat sinks and stuff, so it makes bullets look like cake. That really is just another example of
tool for the job. Agree.
Realistically, something a lot of people will overlook. If you look at any of the chips on your ESC, like any of the MOSFETs, you just, I guess for average Joe, just go into a data sheet and look for something. They'll probably say something like solder or temperature or reflow profile, something like that, and you'll see that the chips are not meant to be kept hot.
Don't they all wave solder all that stuff anyways?
Like, usually a lot of it's reflow soldering, where they wipe a paste with a stencil over the board, and a pick and place machine slaps all the chips onto the board, and then they put it in a big oven and it heats up. But it's very specific, slow preheat, and then it spikes the temperature to actually melt the solder, and then brings it down gently. And it only spends maximum of a minute at the high temperature. So you do not want to be sitting on something, especially like an ESC, minutes and minutes and minutes trying to melt something.
Yeah, I know. If you're having problem soldering with something, and it's not doing it, you need to back off and not hold it on longer. If you do, you're gonna wick solder in and make wires solid and all sorts of dumb, all sorts of things you're gonna regret. So if you find yourself,
and just because it melted together,
I said if it's not working, stop what you're doing and work it out. Yeah.
Something else to consider, just because it's stuck together doesn't really mean it's soldered properly. I've seen it. The speed guys are especially vulnerable to it with the large gauge wires and the big bullets and the high currents they're pulling. But I've run into a couple times where guys have come up and they said, my crap came undone. I'm like, well, you start popping bullets off and you're like, oh crap, this is only like 20 or 30% of the way soldered through, and the stuff they have just doesn't have the heat, the wattage and the tip. And that's something else. God, I'm going to turn this into a soldering hour, but something else important. Don't cheap out on an iron. I mean, it's easy for a company to make a little ceramic temperature with a probe in it and a little, like, the track power and all that stuff, they're all based off an old Hako 936. And the circuitry in that is really, really, really simple. It's a transformer and a little thermistor circuit. And that works fine. It's the tips where the money is at.
Yeah.
And you can get one of those track power things and go get 936 series, E17 series shit. I'll have to look it up, but you can go get those tips from Hako and put them on one of those, and it'll make a world of difference. Because the nicer tips are just way more thermally conductive. The coatings on them stay nicer longer. They wet better. Better experience altogether. And then when you go to put the thing away, clean it, put solder on it, let the solder cool on it. Protects it from oxidizing.
Yeah.
Because an oxidized tip will not work for crap. If your tip is not shiny anymore and it won't wet, it's basically garbage can time. That thing isn't going to transmit heat. It's not going to wick solder. It's just going to be a pain in the ass, and you're going to end up with goo everywhere, and bullets are going to come flying off when you're trying to get a nice speed.
Yeah,
pull.
your rescue, your
Anyway.
flybar's controller rescue ain't going to mean much of anything when your bullets are unsoldered because you started the job with the wrong tool.
Something like that. It's like even the expensive tips, like the one for the FM series where they've got the little built-in ceramic and everything in them. Even those are like $17 a piece. But honestly, it's like $17 tip or $300 crash. Because the bullets all came down. You got to watch your heli fall.
Definitely. Another tool to add on here is a bench grinder. I found those to be really useful for shortening bolts or grinding a flat spot on a motor shaft or they
Any
work
number
really
of
well in
things.
that capacity. It's convenient to have it at home. It's not something I'm going to carry to the field, but it works well at home.
Yeah, Ryobi's got some little cheap. Like I was shocked that they're like $40 at Home Depot, and it's actually been surprisingly good. The funny thing is, Home Depot, the one around me anyway, last I checked, didn't even sell replacement wheels for them. Like they just expect you to throw the thing out or something.
Another tool is a Dremel.
I was just about to say that. Just about to.
The ubiquitous rotary tool. Crap, again, I could go on and on and on about this kind of stuff, but I guess the usual tips to have would be metal cutting wheels,
grinding,
and they call it grinding tips, and they call it a wood wheel that they have where it's heavily serrated cutter, but it works very well for plastic. So instead of shooting molten plastic everywhere at you, it actually will cut it out. It's aggressive though, so be careful. Other than that, you don't usually find them at Home Depot, but like tungsten carbide burrs, a nice selection of those is very useful for cutting things or cleaning things up. You can get those on Amazon very
my
easily.
2 common uses of the Dremel are, one is polishing very specific items that I want to operate smooth. So usually the strap that's inside your transmitter that is putting pressure on your collective, you could use that with some Mag's Mother's Mag polish and give that a good shine. And then, put some really light grease in there. The other one I find I use it for often is a lot of our canopies aren't drilled exactly exact because you're dealing with fiberglass, you're dealing with a mold. So I actually many times will use the Dremel to work with me in moving the hole because using a body reamer like you'd use like you get for RC cars, it doesn't work well for moving holes around. It works well to make a good round hole, but not for moving the hole.
Yeah. I usually get out one of the tungsten carbide burrs.
I've got a little
that.
sanding stone. Yeah.
At low speed. Yeah, the sanding stone does it.
I got a little sanding stone that's got a nice round radius to it, so that I can move it in. I can move it in and make the hole bigger, or just use it to move the whole hole. What other tools are we forgetting?
I mean, there's a big list. I might as well just make an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about things that are, the extra. These are things I usually end up dragging out during builds, and they get put away.
Ooh, crimp tools. People that like to make their own harnesses, or the number of times I've used that Like just this weekend, where I got an RPM sensor from Shannon at Arlington Fine Hellies, right? It's the Align one, and it only comes with the goofy. It looks like a JST series connector, maybe PH or probably ZH looks like. But the Icon takes a Futaba, the 2.54 millimeter pitch header pins. So if I didn't have that, I'd be making some goofy soldered contraption or just going home. But with a crimp tool and a bag of crimps, that was a 3-minute job. Strip the wire, put a proper connector on there, and go
definitely.
fly.
I know the other thing it's useful for is a couple of times I've messed up the JSTXH connector on my batteries. You plug it in wrong and a cell shorts out on another one, and you blow a connector up. Well, a crimp tool and some extra JSTXH ends and plastic ends and the crimp-on connector, and your battery's good to go.
The number of times I've got a phone call like, "You're gonna be at the field this weekend, right?" Like, yeah.
Yeah, I've the way I've managed it is with parallel charging, and you don't plug it in wrong. You get it just wrong where it quickly shorts out for a millisecond, and the battery's fine, but the connector, one of your cells connectors is absolutely shot. It's gone. It's melted.
Yeah, like the battery can handle that kind of current, no problem, but the little plastic connector,
it
XH,
melts.
not
So
meant
I
for
actually
that. It
have
melts.
extra 6S JSTXH connectors and the plastic and the crimp-on ends, and I have a crimp tool with me pretty much all times.
I might as well get my spreadsheet and post a copy of that for all the connector DigiKey part numbers I have.
Helping hands for soldering.
Oh,
Helping
yeah,
hands for
that too.
soldering. Magnifying glass. If you're a guy who needs more light, you can get those little things you wear in your head and give yourself some light right there where you get your head pointed. Metal or magnetic screw or bolt holder bowls. A bowl with a magnet in it, so you just throw all your bolts in and it keeps them in place. They sure are.
Those are useful.
What else we got there? As a tool I use is old motor shafts, old feathering spindles, and all the old shafts. I always keep one or two around. They work great with the arbor press.
That's what I was mentioning earlier.
Oh, what is it? I actually think it's that fancy $40 Scorpion shaft that you or Casey, one of you guys ordered it, didn't use it, and I think Casey just gave it to me. And he's like, "Here, I don't have a use for it." It turns out it works perfectly for punching old Synergy grip bearings.
Yeah, it definitely does. I've also found that the main shaft works great for it too. Yeah, because the 45-25 shaft on a Scorpion's 10 millimeter inside the motor, and so's the main shaft. So yeah, they both work great for moving bearings out of things. It's a handy. It's I wouldn't say it's a free tool, but you're likely to gain one at some point in this hobby. Yep.
Or an old spindle or something.
Another thing, another good thing to have is different variety set of files.
Files are useful. I go through those. I actually need to get a new set. I've used mine
Files
up.
can be used for as simple as grinding a flat spot on your motor shaft to filing a little bit of carbon fiber off. Well, yeah, I use the Dremel honestly for that, and then I'll take the file to kind of round out the edges.
Files are good for rounding
exactly.
Nasty spots on a carbon
also
frame.
The holes. Let's say, Rob, I was with you with my first E7 with the first E7 SE. We cut the transmission wasn't quite, the gear mesh wasn't quite properly or wasn't perfect, so we actually just kind of took the file, kind of made not slits, not big slits, but just enough where we can move the transmission a little bit better, a little bit further over to get a better gear mesh, and just by going in between the bolt holes in the frame.
Did that on my 600 Pro back in the day.
Yeah, definitely. Files. I also have wet dry sandpaper. I like using wet dry sandpaper on carbon fiber frame edges a lot more than files, because you got multiple grits of sandpaper. Files are usually just rough.
Yeah, like the files I've got, the One has a very, very fine pitch. I'll either use that or I'll use
Yeah.
fine grain
I like the sandpaper.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
you just chew it up.
Yeah, I got sandpaper and it works really well. Two tools. One, automatic center punch. Yes.
Those are useful.
For those of us who are familiar with Synergy, we have to drill our own holes in our boom to pin our booms because it is a torque tube model. And the automatic center punch will make sure you put the mark where you need it so your drill bit doesn't slip off and make all sorts of nasty marks. And you put the hole where you mean to put the hole. Automatic center punch is helpful in that. The next item on there, so the automatic center punch, what was the other item? God, I was just thinking about it.
An aligned vacuum to clean up all the suck up all the debris and shavings you have all on the table.
Yeah, perfect use.
Exactly, yes.
And, now I know what I was talking about. Now I know what I was thinking about. Okay, screwdrivers. So, we all grew up, most of us grew up, we just, it's a Phillips screwdriver. Phillips is not a name, it's a standard. And Phillips is not a standard used in Asia.
Phillips
they
sucks.
use JIS, Japanese Industrial Standard.
Going on record now. Phillips sucks.
JIS is better. However,
go get some Weehaws and be happy.
I have, what is it, Moody?
Actually,
I have Moody. But basically, those the servo horn screws you're seeing, they're not Phillips, they're GIS, and a proper GIS driver will remove those a lot easier than a Phillips. And tell all your RC car friends, because this was where I learned about it, and everyone came running to me every time they had a stripped out GIS screw because they've been grinding away at it with a Phillips like an idiot.
I'm just the guy who goes to McMaster and buys a bucket load of 3x6 and 2.5x6.
Yes.
Socket and cap screws.
Definitely.
Oh god, I hate. Well, you know what though? Flip side here, it makes it very easy. If you wanted to, you could Hulk Hogan out on those things and trash your servos.
Yes.
Which brings me to point B on this tangent. Torque wrenches, cheap ones. You don't need to get crazy ass expensive, insane stuff. You can drop like $100 on a nice Weehaw handle or something similar in a bag of tips.
Mike, that Weehaw is kind of crazy expensive at $100.
I mean, all right. Crazy expensive for me is the Torque Controls Inc. torque driver I've got, and that thing was like $400. Okay, fair point.
You want to know what's crazy? We all missed out on it, but Weehaw makes a digital inch-pound torque driver.
Ooh, I have seen that.
And it records how many times it's been done so you know when to do maintenance on it. And it's priced at $300.
Oh, let's get 3 of those. Yeah.
You know, the machinists in our listening group were like, that ain't nothing.
Sure. But yeah, I was talking about torque wrenches earlier, and really the proper nomenclature is torque drivers. There's only like one thing in our whole damn model that could deal with a torque wrench, and that's the feathering spindle.
Nah, man. You need that half-inch drive, 16-inch torque
No.
wrench
You need a 2-inch wrench handle, man. 2-inch diameter, 2-foot long wrench. Come on now. You use for locomotives. You just need to tighten up your blade bolts with that.
No, you need to go stop off in the rest area and go ask the truck driver for the 4-foot cheater bar.
Oh god. Like a 3/4-inch drive.
Let's just tighten this up real quick and be good. I run my blades a little tight,
You guys want to see a cool truck? I'm about to snap a helicopter in half with a torque wrench.
We actually have a crescent wrench. Not a crescent wrench. It's an open-ended box wrench at work. It's like 2 feet long. We actually use it as an exercise item or a challenge to see who can hold it up the longest in front of them.
Another tool that a lot of people doesn't even consider it as a tool, but it's in the name. But it's a Soko heli tool. But that's for setup and stuff. That's always good to have for setup.
Oh, that reminds me. You mentioned the calipers earlier. The other thing is to get the FBL Rotors makes it, and it is it's a little ball link
Yes.
posts
Yes.
that you attach
I
on
have
your
those.
calipers so you can do precision measurements for your ball
I
links.
figured that you were going with. Yes. I love those things. They're amazing. I what's funny is
Yep.
I actually got them when I bought my T-Rex 600 Nitro. For the longest time, I did not know what the hell they were. They were just these weird little, like, long pieces with threads on them. Like, I don't know what these are used for. They're used for, like, fuel line, but there's no way the thread doesn't go all the way through. I did not know for the longest time until I got a caliper, and then I was like, wait a minute. And it clicked. I put it on there, and then and it was like, this looks like something for a ball link. I put that on there, like, holy crap, it works! And you can get exact measurements with your ball links. It's the most amazing little attachment for a caliper ever. I love it.
Yep. Good stuff. Yeah, I just got mine a bit ago, a week ago. A friend Lamont actually hooked me up. Well, can anyone else think of any tools we want to talk about besides hex drivers?
Instead of ball and wrenches.
Ball and wrenches. I'm confused, Mike. Go for it.
Ball and Allen keys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
The ones that
muffler
Chris and
wrench.
the one that WeHop makes a nice little 7-piece or 6-piece set that you can get on Amazon for
Yep.
like $17. And Chris Olson and I guard that thing like gold because they walk on Fun Flies.
Yeah.
And then there's also a Bondhoos set on Amazon that also includes the SAE stuff as well.
Yep.
In case. And that's like $25 or $30. That's a good deal. It's nice to have 2 metrics because spindle bolts.
Yep.
Which also reminds me, if you can find one,
Yes.
a good one-way bearing tool for
When
spindles.
you said
and
spindle, I was
Yes.
like, yes, grippy.
Usually friends still have grippies around. You usually can still find a friend who has one and borrow it. Past that, I think Lynx and Align make
They make them, yes.
a tool to hold fleck feathering spindles.
Yep.
Or another place I find it useful is a tail output shaft. But you have to be careful there because the one-way bearing can be harder than the shaft and leave dents in it.
Oh, wow.
Any other tools? Yep.
Grease gun.
Yeah. I know we usually use the Bodo lube tool. I do enjoy a proper grease gun.
Bicycle
It's a lot
store.
easier to use on the hands, but bicycle store or a bicycle shop online. The company, a company that makes really nice bicycle tools is Park Tool Company. And you can find them at various bike shops, but they make tools that are applicable in our area. One of the tools that guys see I carry around in my toolbox is a 3-way metric wrench, a star wrench. I use it for my bicycle days, and it works really well for taking blades on and off.
It'll also work on your 700 and on the N556.
Any other tools?
Scale.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
nice digital
yeah,
scale.
That's a good one.
A gram
Amazon.
scale, something that does 0 to 1,000 grams in at least a tenths place.
Actually, you know what? 2 scales. Get a gram scale that's accurate. Down to grams or less. And same place, Amazon. Again, American Weigh Scale makes a really nice posted certified scale for like $25. It's accurate down to plus or minus 2 grams and goes up to 50 kilograms.
Wow.
And that gets used a lot. And there's some funny pictures floating around with me with the jet on its back with a pillow and some other nonsense trying to get a weight on the jet. And then, for weighing helicopters, it's awesome. Or if you got to send stuff to people.
Yeah,
for that.
I bought both my scales at Harbor Freight. My 0 to 1,000, I actually have a 500 gram scientific weight to do calibration with. And then the other one, from comparing weights on things, it looks to be really close. So I'm not that worried about weight. I guess the bigger thing I've run into talking with friends is a gram scale that'll get into hundredths place will help the OCD in you. If you don't care, then the tenths place on a gram scale is just fine. Prop balancer. That's another tool to have.
For clutch stacks
you can
and
use
stuff.
it for clutch stack and also for your tail hub and blades. Make sure that's all balanced. That'll be, you can check and see that right off the bat and start understanding why your tail's humming is. Check and see how well balanced your tail hub and tail blades are on a prop balancer.
Well, I can think of it's not a tool, but it's something that would be helpful for like on your work table or storage or anything like that. And it's those tackle fishing box organizers. They are you get one of those, you get a whole bunch of those, put all your parts in there, keep them all organized.
Oh,
yeah,
organizing. Yes.
Yeah, little Plano cases.
Yeah, the Plano cases. Also the stackable containers where you can put like scrapbook and stuff in there. You just put them in separate drawers and cabinets. You just keep them everything all separated. Those seem to work really well. Keeping screws separated. Different size screws. I have containers that have multiple metric size screws, and also standard for those other things. But all sized, whether it's flathead, button head, socket head, and everything like that. So yeah, basically a bunch of organizing bins for everything.
Well, we got anything else?
Probably could think of stuff in like next 5 minutes, but yeah, no, I'm good.
Well, I'm gonna take it towards closeout.
Close it out.
So, for closeout, upcoming events we are attending.
Things to do in the air.
First up is the 2018 Super Pole at RC Helis only. You can find that on Flight Deck.
Oh, it's available on there?
Yeah, they put themselves on Flight Deck already. If memory serves me well enough. Yep. Next event is the RCHO 2018 Super Pole, and they have that going on April 20th through the 22nd at RC Helis only in Knightdale, North Carolina. Yeah, it's a good fun event, friends and everything. Usually go down there for a day or two and hang out and shoot autos. That's the next event happening in April. That we're going to as a fun fly. I do know that Huntsville and Birmingham's coming up, and Huntsville's coming up for you guys down in the south. So definitely check them out and get out there. Last but not least, we have our 2018 Heli Calendar spreadsheet on Google Drive, and there's a link in Facebook, so definitely check it out if you're in the area, think about hitting events up, or you want to give us an event you want us to put on there, or tell us about an event you think we can attend.
Cool.
Anyone got anything else for closeout?
I'm sure there was something else I wanted to mention, but So, with that said, I guess we are pretty much done for the day. Talked all you want to talk about tools and other stuff, workstations and everything else you should do to put your helis together and not smash them on the desk. Hopefully.
Yep. Yeah. If you need to contact us, you want to tell us some more items we can stick in our tool cases or on our workbench, give us a shout. Past that, I'd like to thank you all for listening and have a good one.
Have a good night, guys. Mike, play musical parts.
Later. Fly dangerous.
From all of us at TellARotor RC Podcast, thank you for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the field. You can find us online on Facebook.com at TellARotor RC Podcast or on Podbean.
Welcome to the bloopers for this episode. We recommend you listen to them in private as the audio is loud and the subject matter a bit sophomoric. Enjoy.
It's still just sitting in the clubhouse.
Is it one of those powered kites?
Skype's skipping him so bad.
I love Skype sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
But next up, a new transmitter from Futaba. I was just actually looking.
Futaba.
I was actually just. Oh my god, you all.
Futaba.
Futaba.
It's not the name. I'm trying to talk, and you keep talking over top of me.
Futaba.
Futaba. Next up is a soldering iron.
The best thing on the planet. for this helicopters.
Hey, DePaulo, you're the EE. Give us some lowdown on the soldering iron we should have on our tool bench.
That's right. Go for it, Mike.
Is the lag that bad, Mike?
Did we lose him? Hey, actually, I was lagging really badly. Now I'm up to a millibyte per second. A millibyte. Finally, I reached a millibyte.
Millibit.
Whatever.
That's actually kilobit.
Holy crap, I just peaked up to 7.5 now. Hell yes. Whoa, now I went back to 800 kilobytes. Dang it.
DePaulo.
Grumpy.
Sleepyhead.
Well,
Okay.
guess we'll skip that one.
I'll give him soldering iron. I'm gonna move around for a second. I'll come back to that one.
And I lost connection.
He's so robot, the robot's robot.
You know, the funny thing is, people listening on this at home have no idea how robotic, like, Robo-Man he sounds right now. Cause
Well, that
on,
and
Mike.
they have no idea because we all do our own separate recordings.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And they won't know the the amazing lag.
One other thing that's not...
You hear me, Shaggy?
Sorry, Dad was banging on the door. Good gosh. Trying to
Was
talk.
he trying to talk to you?
He's freaking, like, hammering the freaking window. No, he's freaking working on the bathroom. So that time when you moved the toilet, yeah, they removed everything now. So... and I told him, and like he just came in. I told him, like, I'm trying to record. He's like, oh, okay. And now he started freaking hammering on the freaking bathroom, which is like next to my door. Oh gosh.